meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall, and if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Daphne Ramil, your MC. And with me here are Robert Edgar, our interviewer, and TK Tran is our master engineer. Of course, Dave Williams is always somewhere, either on Zoom or behind the scenes as our founder. Our mission is to support your local open mics, and it is our great pleasure to present to you the more accomplished singer-songwriters who play there. So without gimmicks or frills, this is the beating heart of American music, the tapestry of story and song that's been weaving us together for generations. And now let's introduce all of our performers. We have, and they can wave when their name is called, Scott Stover from Moyie Springs, Idaho. Grover T. Duffield from Grove, Oklahoma, Ralph DeFlorio from Harvard, Massachusetts, Gene Stewart from Houston, Texas, Darren Levine from Santa Barbara, California, Mike Simpson from Saratoga, California, Cap Wilhelm Safian from San Jose, California, all in a row from California, Louis Beeler from Charlotte, North Carolina, John Hone from Caldwell, New Jersey, and Chase Brady from Fair Lawn, Ohio. Welcome, everyone. And our first guest is Scott Stover from Moyie Springs, Idaho. You can find out about our performers and links to all their works on the YouTube and on our website. And now take it away, Scott.
Well, hello.
Pardon me, it's Shiloh Rising. There we go, because Scott is not all by himself today. So this is Shiloh Rising, as you can see on your YouTube video. All right, now take it away, Shiloh Rising.
So we're going to start off with a song. This first song we ever played together more than 25 years ago, 26 years ago. This is called Welcome Home.
1, 2, 3, 4. She was born on a back road near the coast of California. She grew up in a 32 van, living on the road with no place to call her own, 'cause her daddy was a singer in a band. time was so unkind to the two hearts who so wanted to be free. She waited the summers, she waited the winters, she waited when the autumn leaves were gold. Then finally a baby, a sweet little daughter, and they whispered as they took her through the door, darling, welcome home. Welcome home, welcome home. It's been a long time coming. It's good to have a place where you can go. Welcome home, welcome home. It's been a long time coming. It's good to finally have you coming home. Welcome home. Well, life is a question, and the answer's hard to see. Why she had to live the golden years alone. She wanted her family, but time stayed on her side as she waited for the day they'd call her home. 'Cause she buried her father, she buried her daughter, she laid her darling in the grave so cold. Then finally her passing, where a young man came to meet her, and he whispered as she came through heaven's door, darling, welcome home. Welcome home, welcome home. It's been a long time coming. It's good to have you with the folks you know. Welcome home, welcome home. It's been a long time coming. It's good to finally have you coming home. Welcome home. Welcome home, welcome home. It's been a long time coming. It's good to have a place to call your own. Welcome home, welcome home. It's been a long time coming. It's good to finally have you coming home. Welcome
Yes, bravo. Beautiful.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
So, the next song is a song that we truly wrote together. We were writing the lyrics together, writing in the car, and it's an American folk tale. We're not making any kind of a religious statement or anything like that. It's called The Ballad of Malachi James. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we're starting over.
He
Sorry.
forgot his capo.
Left the capo on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was raised with a Bible and a leather strap. Papa took to running and he never came back. Mama started whoring at the local saloon. She was selling herself for money. Well, I hit the road, left Mom at home. I'll be back when I've made looking for religion at the gospel tent. The preacher said, son, it's time to repent. Just lay all your burdens right here at my feet, and I'll save your soul for money. So I emptied my pockets when they passed the hat, talked to the preacher in his wagon out back. I said, tell me all your secrets, how you do what you do when you're saving souls for money. Malachi James, maybe you'll know my name. I've never seen a sinner that couldn't repent, and I'll save your soul for money. So I took the preach and brought Mama along. We had meat on the table in our traveling home. And Mama got worried when times got hard that we were selling our souls for money. So I went to the crossroads, and the devil met me there, and he said,
Son, I could promise you fortune and fame, but first you have to swear that we'll meet again at this place and time 20 years down the road. And you know when you sign on that bottom line, the devil will own your soul. Yeah, you know I'm gonna own your soul. We'll take good care of your mama. She'll never know the truth. But you'll go to hell and you'll serve me well. And I'm never gonna cut you loose. No, I'm never gonna cut you loose. Whoa!
now 20 years later it was time to pay. Mama lived happy to her dying day. I made a decision that I'll never regret. Yeah, I sold my soul for money. But then Jesus came knocking, said, I know your name. If you'll come with me, your debt is paid. 'Cause I ain't never seen a sinner that couldn't repent, and I'll save your soul. Malachi James, born with a prophet's name. I'm a teacher and a preacher and I travel this land, saving souls. Malachi James, maybe you know my name. I ain't never seen a sinner that couldn't repent, and I'll save your soul. Malachi James, Malachi James, oh Malachi James.
Very nice.
Yeah. What a way to open mic America. Okay, Robert, you get to ask him anything you want.
All right. First of all, how do you spell that Malachi? Is that M-A-L or M-O-L?
Malachi. He was the author. The last book of the Old Testament is the book of Malachi.
I was thinking that in Hawaii, there's an island, Molokai,
Right.
and the West used to take its lepers and drop them off in the bay right by them so that they would swim over, and there was a place for them there. I was wondering if any relation to that Malachi. Sounds like not. So you've been playing together for 25 years? 20, 25, you said?
More, a little more, but that's okay.
27, maybe.
Who did you listen to back then, and who do you listen to now? Has your musical taste changed?
I have been a Kate Wolf fan for forever,
Uh-huh.
and my tastes have not changed. I'm still back with Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Gordon Lightfoot, and all those guys. Love the folk stuff.
Uh-huh. And the
you-
stories too, I can hear.
Yeah, you're more Southern rock. I don't know.
Yeah, bluegrass, blues.
Uh-huh.
I play more than I listen these days.
Uh-huh. Your playing is very nice, by the way. Nice picking on that.
Thank you very much.
Has your the music that you play or the songs you write, have you seen any change in that over the years?
They've gotten better.
Yeah. Hmm.
So where do you mostly play nowadays?
I'm the one who plays out the most. I mostly play for people older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm 70, so
Uh-huh.
you know, I call it the senior circuit, and everything from the rest home that I work at, I get paid to play and entertain for them, and then the local assisted living and the local senior social center and at the local farmers market and
Uh-huh.
places like that. Like our entire county has 11,000 people in it, so we're not a very high populated area.
That's part of what's nice about the web is that we have access to a wider audience than we might. But I have a friend who plays for seniors and did that for a number of years. And it led him into listening to older songs so that he could play the songs that they would know as opposed to the songs that he brought.
Yes, I heard somebody earlier playing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," and that's one of the songs that I've learned. Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy,
Yeah.
old Hank Williams stuff, and things that are familiar to them. So I found myself needing to do that too. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, I think, the role that music and music memory has come to play in our lives and our own memories. And some of the I understand that some of the older folks can hardly put a sentence together, but will break into song if they hear one that triggers an older time.
Yeah, as I said, I work at the local rest home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's if you see some of them, if you see them tapping their foot, you know you've gotten through,
Uh-huh.
and that may be all they can do.
Uh-huh. What a connection. It's both kind of pre-verbal and verbal, especially if they can sing the lyrics that they haven't come to their lips in 50 years. It's quite a thing, huh?
I have some heartwarming stories, but this probably isn't the place to tell them.
So, do you split up between lyrics and music when you write, or do you share them, or it depends on the song?
It depends.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there are songs where I've written the lyrics and she's written the music. That one we totally collaborated
Both
on.
did a
That
little
last
of
one.
both.
Uh-huh. That's wonderful to find a collaborator who will work with you for so long. You're lucky to have that.
Oh, lucky in so many ways. You have no idea. I hope you do.
I have a bass player, and he and I have played through many different music projects over a couple decades. I think now we're going to that, and yeah, it's a lovely thing to have to develop musical camaraderie like that. That's lovely.
Well, after 2 years of playing together, we got married.
Well, unfortunately,
Made it easy.
right. The bass player and I are separately married, so we don't have that going on or looking forward to that. But so it has to come out the music. It's kind of forced for us on that. Hey, thank you very much. I loved your music, and I hope to hear you again.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shiloh Rising and Robert. That was fun to hear more about you and the power of music. Well, let us never forget the power of music. And I don't know if we want to read it, but there is a book called The Power of Two, and it's all about creative pairs. There have been many creative pairs in music and art, and it's a cool thing. Thank you so much. And next, we are going to hear from Grover Duffield from Grove, Oklahoma. And he likes to play all over the world. He's constantly traveling around the world and playing his music in Jerusalem, in Tokyo. And one of his favorite open mics is Ham Bones, I think, right? And the Jerusalem one. And a little called Open Mic Corona, where people know each other and talk also. But you are here with us again today, so take it away, Mr. Grover.
Thank you, Daphne. I appreciate it. I'm doing 2 numbers today. I almost went back and did a historical number. Almost, but didn't quite think I had the chops for it yet, or again. Anyway, this first song it's called If Only I Could, is what I call it. If only I could go back in time, take back the words I said to you, and show you some grace. If only I could close the divide, see the world as it is, make everyone care. I dream of what I do, if could haves could be, but dreams are all I have. If only I could. If only I could dream a new life and will myself there, spread my wings and fly. If only I could be the one to grow a garden, then take you there in the spring. I dream of what to do, if could haves could be, but dreams are all I have. If only I could. If only I could ride the winds that bring the changes in the seasons of life. If only I could stand strong and tall when the darkness comes to us all. We will see the morning sun. I dream of what I do. If could haves could be, but dreams are all I have. If only I could. If only I could.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Grover.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't pull that one out too often. I never feel like it's finished. Add a little oxygen to the airflow. This one's called Panhandle Night. If the old arthritis shook out, some of y'all understand what that means. Watch the stars move across the sky. As the moon lights up our world. We go out there, just you and I. Watch the panhandle night unfurl. Oh, the panhandle night. Oh, the panhandle night. On occasion when the wind wouldn't blow, an amazing sight you'll see. Falling stars they put on a show. When the panhandle night sets you free. Oh, the panhandle night. Oh, the panhandle night. It fills our souls with ribbons bright as they unfold across the sky. The stars ignite hearts of you and I by each other's side. Oh, the panhandle night. We spread out as night falls below a deep blue, not what we'd expect. With the soft pale light illuminating all. First sign of a panhandle night we detect. The panhandle night. moonshine lit up around. A night with stars so bright. Sharing this with you with silence around. Such a thrill, that panhandle night. Oh, the panhandle night. It fills our souls with ribbons bright as they unfold across the sky. The stars ignite hearts of you and I by each other's side. The panhandle night. The panhandle night.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you all very much.
That's wonderful. Hi, Grover.
We've spoke before,
We've
Robert. How are
spoken
you,
before.
sir?
I'm fine. Good to see you. Lovely to hear you.
Thank you.
It's interesting, everyone who's here tonight is a songwriter, and the Panhandle Night that you just wrote, are you thinking of a particular place?
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. And what I'm interested in that. And with songwriting, it seems that both it allows us to go back to places that we've been in, times that we've been there, and at the same time, it allows us to make those places more concrete and those times more concrete, so that we actually experience them more than even we might have at the time. Do you think about that when you're writing songs?
Yeah. Sometimes, when you're writing a song, sometimes you will get an almost visceral response from a song within yourself. Like I wrote that about where I grew up at.
Uh-huh.
Oklahoma Panhandle, Southwest Kansas is just kind of nothing exists out there. But the nighttime, when you can drive for 30 miles and not meet another car, the night skies are amazing.
Yeah.
And when you're a 17 or 16-year-old boy, in our case, 14-year-old boy with a driver's license,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
The openness also comes through in the chords that you were picking. They weren't tight little major chords, but they were more open, and you could have space for the distance between the sand and the stars. There's a place to exist in there.
yep. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, it comes through, and it is something that as songwriters, why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep writing these songs? But
I do it because God gives them to me, I figure.
Yeah, God knows where they come from, right? They're there, and it seems like something that wants to be made concrete for a moment, and to do that.
I have one song that I wrote just recently. My hair is like really long, and due to my oxygen, I have problems sometimes washing it. So my wife will get, I've got the big roll-in shower, so my wife will get in there and wash my hair for me. And I was sitting there and she was washing my hair, and the next thing I had the first like verse and a half in the melody, and I hadn't even gotten out of the shower yet. And I sang it for a friend of mine, and he said, "You're in the key of C." And so I went to C, and yeah, I was in the key of C. So it was. That's why I say God gives them to you.
Right, and so you're right, and the water comes from the sea after all, so it only makes sense.
That's it. That's it. Well,
Grover, it's great talking to you and hearing your music, and I look forward to next time also.
Thank you, Robert. You all have a very good evening. I enjoyed Shiloh Rising.
Yep.
I remembered this time. Last time I heard him, I wasn't good at remembering things.
Thanks,
It happens.
Good.
Thank you.
Take care.
Questions and answers and conversations to come. And now let's go to Massachusetts, where we will hear a performance by Ralph DeFlorio. He's from Harvard, Massachusetts, and he likes to play at Marcos on Main in Ayer, Massachusetts. The stage is all yours, Ralph.
Well, the short title for this first song is Tall Grass. The full title is Tall Grass Laid Low by Sleeping Deer. Someday I'll leave it all behind. I'll cross that line, move on from here. I think I'll find it'll be like tall grass, laid low, laid low, laid low by sleeping deer. Somebody new will take my spot. My name won't be taught through the years. I think I'll find it'll be like tall grass, laid low, laid low, laid low by sleeping deer. Sunlight dancing, dancing on the waves as the day fades and stars appear. The road goes on, I don't know where. Time moves straight towards the next frontier. I think I'll find it'll be like tall grass, laid low, 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 laid low by
Yeah. Wonderful. Wow.
Let's do something completely different. I have a birthday coming up in a few weeks. So I decided to write myself a birthday song a year or so ago. And this one's called Old as Dirt. You might think I'm past my prime and on my best. Days are behind, you'd be wrong. As wrong as wrong gets. I may be old as dirt, but I'm not done yet. Yes, I have my share of gray, but that don't mean I'm about to fade. I'm not walking off in the sunset. I may be old as dirt, but I'm not done yet. I would not write me off so fast. I'll show you how I'm made to last. Listen up, don't you forget. I may be old as dirt, but I'm not done yet. I got dreams, old ones and new. So much more I need to do. I'll tell it all as I strum these frets. I may be old as dirt, but I'm not done yet. You might think I'm past my prime and on my best. Days are behind, but you'd be wrong as wrong as wrong gets. I may be old as dirt, but I'm not done. Maybe old as dirt, but I'm not done. Maybe old as dirt, but I'm not done yet.
Very nice. Love the blues.
Happy almost birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, that was great. Now Edgar gets to ask you, Robert gets to ask you all about it.
That's great. The second song was so classic blues, and then with the singing, it goes into Americana. Where do you look for your? Where do you get that type of genre for the music for that genre? Where have you gone to find it?
I wish I had a really good answer like Grover did, where I could say I got it in the shower. But I listen to a lot of different styles. I love the blues. I love bluegrass, country music. And I play old time music, fiddle music. So it all kind of fits together in different ways. And I like to, challenge myself when I'm writing to maybe do something that is a little bit out of my comfort zone sometimes as well. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so those are kind of the main areas that I work in, but I certainly don't limit it to those.
Uh-huh. What other what is what are some of the things that are data points for your range there?
In terms of musicians and
Yeah,
influences,
for your own. Uh-huh.
yeah, well, maybe if I could just work backwards a little bit. The last 8 or 9 years, I started playing old time music. Probably that's the most recent. My wife is a fiddler, and she does this cool thing where she has 8 other women that play fiddle, and they all gather over here, and I'm their rhythm player, so I get to listen to all their beautiful fiddle harmonies. So I
Oh,
do
wonderful.
that. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, I fell into bluegrass, and I'd always kind of liked bluegrass, but I never played it. Um, where I live is kind of a hotbed for bluegrass. Who would have thought that Massachusetts would be that? But it is. And all the classics, Bill Monroe and Ralph Stanley, and then I think I probably in the blues genre, I like both acoustic and electric blues. So I especially like people like Sonny Boy Williamson and Howlin' Wolf, and on the acoustic side, Mississippi John Hurt, and I could go on for a long time with other names, but that's sort of the gist of where they are. And I like a lot of contemporary Americana people. I guess Steve Earle, Lucinda Williams, folks like that are really great. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I like to just listen to a lot of different things, and
Uh-huh.
depending what my mood is on any given day.
You probably know this. You know Harry Smith collection.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not actually, if I'm doing an ad for them, that's fine too. I think that this group Dust to Digital a few years ago went back to the Smithsonian Harry Smith collection and recorded all the B sides of it
I heard
and
about that. Yeah.
released a set of CDs that were the flip side. So and so much of, I mean, the range that within that original collection is huge. But for someone who's interested, that's an interesting
Yeah,
new
the Harry Smith
collection.
collection was one of the early albums at the time that I got, and that was a really good example of something that can open up your ears to a lot of different styles. And just sort of a footnote on Harry Smith, near about an hour away from where I live, they have this thing every summer called the Harry Smith Frolic. And it's mostly old time music. It's a lot of old time jams. But then at midnight, a bunch of people do a reenactment of a lot of the songs that were on the Harry Smith collection. So it's past my bedtime, but that's what they do.
That's great. I used to when I lived on the East Coast. I used to go to a place in New York um, called Anthology Film Archives, and Harry Smith used to hang out there and show his films because he was also a filmmaker. At the same time, he did these collections. He also had a huge collection, as I understand, of what are they called? They're string sculptures that where you have you do cat's cradle and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He had a huge collection of those strings that he had kept and made, and then he also had a paper airplane collection. He gave both of them to the Smithsonian toward the end of his life.
Well, I think people like Harry Smith and Alan Lomax and people that really uncovered a lot of great songs, great musicians that would have not otherwise been heard. I mean, I think we owe them a big debt. A lot of credit goes to them for what they did.
Loved your songs and your singing also. It's nice to bring that in. I'll hear you again, Rob. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, wait. Yes, thanks for unmuting me. Thank you, Ralph. And we're trying to have musicians get heard, and we're doing it right here on Open Mic America also. Might not be no Harry Smith, but nonetheless. Next we have Gene Stewart from Houston, Texas, and he likes to play at two places that have very funny names. One is the Mucky Duck,
Yep.
and the other is Puffabelly, and they're both in Houston. And one thing he wanted to mention was he got into the Bluebird in Nashville to play. So congratulations on that. I bet it was fun. Take it away, Gene.
Yeah, my bucket list is complete. I'm done. So I can check out now. I'm going to share a couple of songs with you that I hope you enjoy. As a songwriter over the last 40 years or so, I write songs that are they're only appropriate at certain times of the year. And so this first song is really a song that I wrote that's a good song, but you play it on Mother's Day. So that's next Sunday. And the song's called Mother's Day. Up at 5 a.m., making lunches for school. Our lesson for each day was to live by the golden rule. Mountains of laundry, meals to cook, and bills to pay. These are a few of the things that made up my Mother's Day. I know I could never say enough of how much she means to me. Even if I had the sun, the moon, and stars, and all of eternity. So each day I'll do my best to live life in such a way that would make my mother proud of me. And give Mom a smile for Mother's Day. My mother's no longer here to take care of me, but I know her legacy was a life lived lovingly. I'll pass to my children the lessons my mother gave, and pray that they live their lives to make Mom proud on Mother's Day. I know I could never say enough of how much she means to me. Even if I had the sun, the moon, and stars, and all of eternity. So each day I'll do my best to live life in such a way that would make my mother proud of me. And give Mom a smile for Mother's Day. I know I could never say enough of how much she means to me. Even if I had the sun, the moon, and stars, and all of eternity. So each day I'll do my best to live life in such a way that would make my mother proud of me. And give Mom a smile for Mother's Day. Yes, I'll give Mom a smile for Mother's Day.
Well, that is sweet.
Thank you.
Good tribute. Good tribute.
I was raised in one of those families that family was important, so we always had reunions and stuff. And All my kids are grown and gone. It's just me and the wife and 2 dogs and a cat now. But every year we try to get together, and last year was no exception. We went down to Galveston and had a family reunion down there, and that's where this song comes from. It was the 4th of July, 2022. The plans that were made were all coming true. The time and the distance that kept us apart could no longer stand between all our hearts. The hugs were all given, a warm welcome home. We'd spend time together, no need for a phone. The tales were all given, the tales would grow tall. The laughter and tears would be shared by us all. It was a family reunion on Galveston Isle, where every face was wearing a smile. The time would fly by, and soon we would part, but memories we'd made would be filling our hearts. A house on the beach, a time without care, salt water, sandcastles, wind blowing our hair, a finger with stitches, a cake without straws, a sweet voice singing brought joy to us all. It was a family reunion on Galveston Isle, where every face was wearing a smile. The time would fly by, and soon we would part, but memories we'd made would be filling our hearts. Oh, yes. It was a family reunion on Galveston Isle, where every face was wearing a smile. The time would fly by, and soon we would part, but memories we'd made would be filling our hearts. Yes, it would. It was a family reunion on Galveston Isle, where every face was wearing a smile. That'd be it.
Oh, I wanted to go there. My goodness.
Thank you. That was the last song I
And
played in
now-
Nashville.
And yeah. And now, yes, Robert, take it away.
Hey, Gene.
Hey,
Families. I love. First of all, I love the range of instruments in back of you, from mountain dulcimer to banjo to jaguar. It's a nice collection, and your the Martin you've got too. How long have you been collecting them?
well, what you can't see are the 50 that are over my head on this shelf behind me, and well, I'm almost 70, and I've been playing guitar since I was about 8. So, and
Uh-huh. That's lovely. I wanted to ask you about family and musical practice as opposed to family and content, which I think you handled very nicely in your songs. What kind of music did you have in your family, and did they, and if so, how did they support it in you?
well, my mom was a church goer, and she sang at church, and my dad was a bar hop, and he loved country music, and I didn't really care for it. And I was a long-haired hippie that loved the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of my musical background. It's a little bit of everything, really.
Uh-huh. And you kind of need the different instruments to go into each of those separate genres, don't you?
Well, every instrument opens a new venue for you. So the banjo, I've owned a banjo for 30 years, but about 3 years ago I started going to a bluegrass jam here locally, and I finally learned how to play the thing, believe it or not. But I owned it for 30 years before I figured out how to play it.
Uh-huh. How'd you happen to buy it?
It was one of those things, as a musician, you think, well, it's got strings and I've got fingers, I can play it. So, you bought them and then you brought them home, and then, you always migrate back to the one you like the best, which for me was the guitar all along. But I've got mandolins and that I play, and so it just opens it opens your horizons, really.
Sure, sure. How about the dulcimer that I see there? What type of music do you play with that?
Oh, that believe it or not, that's more of a wall hanger than anything. It was I tinkered with it enough to break a string on it, and then I hung it.
Well, it's only got three, right? Maybe four. They do nice drones, and that takes you either to Appalachia or something else that wants you to have that pedal point and have that drone going with you.
Sure does.
When you go to the family reunions, are there any other songwriters there?
No, I'm it, and of course everybody that's related to me is always dreading the reunions because they never know what's going to come out of that thing. So that's one of the, I'm not a type of songwriter that makes up scenarios and writes songs about them. I just got back from Nashville, and man, I'm telling you, what a treat it was to go there. A lot of really good musicians, but I wrote all my songs are songs about things I've experienced, and so it was kind of a fish out of water. I don't have a lot of breakups to write songs about because I've been married for 42 years.
Uh-huh.
And anyhow, so a lot of the music in Nashville is written around breakups and partying and stuff, and I'm too old for that. But I do write about things I think are important.
Yeah, well, there's plenty that's important outside of breakups, I think.
Yeah.
It's just breakups perhaps have a easier handle to pick them up with.
Well, it sells more beer is the bottom line.
Hey, thanks a lot, Gene. I look forward to hearing you again.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, Jean, you just keep on writing what you know about and what's important to you. I wish I was at your family reunion. I miss all my family that are spread all over the place. And the song really woke that up. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Be hard to get Daphne in a sign. I'm not sure what rhymes with it, but I'll work on it.
Okay, let me know. Oh gosh. And next we're going to go to, first of all, we are going to start the second half of our show with number 5. And secondly, we're going to go to California for 3 whole sets. We have a Darren Levine from Santa Barbara, California, and he likes to play at the Soho Restaurant and Music Club in Santa Barbara. Okay, Darren, it's all you.
Excellent. This first song is titled Miracles. If you got a heavy feeling in your heart, the light is on, but it still feels dark. You're not alone, I've been there too. I've had my troubles, yeah, I've had the blues. But tomorrow could bring something new, a fresh perspective, a brighter view. Keep your head high when you're feeling low. Keep on believing in miracles. Keep your head high when you're feeling low. Nothing is like nothing's going your way. Sun is shining, but it feels like rain. Everybody keeps on knocking you down, running circles in the same old town. Tomorrow could bring something new, a fresh perspective, a brighter view. Keep your head high when you're feeling low. Keep on believing in miracles. Keep your head high when you're feeling low. Nothing is impossible. Oh, 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 oh. Keep on believing in miracles. Oh, 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 oh. Nothing is impossible. I fought the fight, I made it through. Hold on for another day, you'll make it too. Keep your head high when you're feeling low. Keep on believing in miracles. Keep your head high when you're feeling low. Nothing is impossible. Oh, 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 oh. Keep on believing in miracles. Oh, 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 oh. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Yes.
Very good.
And this next song is called Jai Hanuman. I wanna be like the monkey god, swinging tree to tree, living in the jungle, wild and free. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. I want to spend my whole life in service to the one, shining like a diamond, blazing like the sun. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. I want to open my heart up wide, feel all that love inside. Let go of my ego, surrender my pride. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. Love everyone, serve everyone, love everyone, serve everyone. We've got to love everyone, serve everyone, love everyone, serve everyone. Jai, Jai Hanuman. Jai, Jai Hanuman. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman. Jai, Jai, Jai Hanuman.
Such uplifting tunes and so singable.
Hi, Darren.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Loda, where'd your idea for the second song come from?
Well, in addition to being a singer-songwriter, I lead something that's called kirtan, and it's call and response singing of devotional music. And in Hindu mythology, it's not specifically related to any particular religion, but it just so happens that in Hindu mythology, there is a monkey god, and this particular monkey god is symbolic of being of service to others. And so that's where the idea of this particular song, Jai Hanuman, came about. And it's a reminder to ourselves to be of service to others like Hanuman.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
And for the call and response, what history does that have that led to you?
As well, for me personally, it came about through the practice of yoga, because it's part of the path of bhakti yoga, which is known as the yoga of love and the yoga of devotion. And I discovered it many years ago practicing yoga, but it originated, as far as I'm aware, I'm not a historian, but it originated in India, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that particular practice.
I played with some South Indian musicians for a while.
Okay.
And the fact that the music had no harmonic structure meant that when musicians played together, often call and response was the nature of the improvisation.
Yeah, interesting.
So that certainly has a place.
Yeah.
But of course, we have call and response in lots of different musics.
Sure.
Yeah, love your voice, by the way. It's,
Thank you.
Your articulation is really catching.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so do I. I appreciate hearing it. It's a very interesting aspect. So, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing since I was about 14, 15 years old. And that's a little over 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young kid. That's
Young kid, yeah. Preteen.
And where?
Long Island, New York, which is where I grew up. Yeah, and I'm now in Santa Barbara, California.
Ah, okay. So you're south of me. I'm in Sunnyvale, up in the Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Yeah.
So this is the West Coast portion of our program.
Right, the West Coast tour.
Yes. So do you play usually on your own, or do you have different projects that you work on?
Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit on my own. However, I recently have formed a duet with another guitar player, and so I'm going to start playing out with him, and so that'll be nice. And hopefully, 2 will become 3, and then 3 will become 4, and it'll be a band.
And will you be doing original music?
Mostly original music. Yep, a few covers, but mostly originals.
Yeah. The covers help people sometimes get into your original music.
They do, yeah. I also, like another songwriter who performed earlier, I'm also doing a monthly gig right now at a day center for people with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And I the people there, they really catch on to the cover songs and really enjoy them. In fact, at the last gig there, I played John Lennon's Imagine, and somebody came up to me and they said, "Wow, that's my favorite song." And so that was special.
Yeah, again, it's that interface we have with music memory and also present and past, because we're hearing it. If someone plays a song that we recognize from long ago, we're hearing it in the present and enjoying it in the present and how it's interpreted.
Right.
It's echoing somewhere inside that is a special type of touch, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. I really enjoyed your songs. I also made a note, I think, here about with how long the fact that the beat was on the second beat meant that as soon as you had started, it was already moving to the next beat. The accent being on the second beat, and it struck me that the time referred to was that. In other words, it was already moving by the time you counted to one, you already had to count to two to get the motion, and that was embedded in there. I thought that was very nice. And then I heard you did the second one with the same second beat thing there, so I sensed a theme there.
Yeah.
Music in motion. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Robert. And thank you, Darren. I've got to say, now that you explained a little bit about what you do, it sort of explains why I felt compelled to sing along.
There you go.
You at home. I just couldn't help myself. What can I say? It was written that way, huh?
It was, yeah. Well, the second song in particular, yeah. Not the first one, but the second one, yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Now we are going to continue our California tour. We are going to go to Saratoga, California to hear Mike Simpson, who is also a host on our show now. And Mike likes to attend some virtual open mics lately, and one of them is the Open Mic Arona. So Mike, take it away.
All right, thank you, Daphne. Okay, so I used to have to introduce this song pretty carefully to get people to follow it. So I eventually added the first part I'm going to sing is what's called a verse when you talk about jazz standards, and it's sort of that ilk, you know. So here we go. You are all alone there in the sky, amid 1,000 twinkling stars. I drive myself alone amid 1,000 other cars. Your pristine beauty does not quite shone out so clear when I'm by myself and my love is not near. Lonely moon, don't know why it bothers to shine. Maybe it's just practicing for when you're here next time. There was a dark eclipse the other night, perhaps a warning that you'd go away, and the bright full glare of this fat moon just makes me wish that you had stayed. Lonely moon, what is your point to be so bright? Are you polishing your lamp for when she's here to share the sight? Might be you lay that beam across the bay to guide her back and help her steer. A brilliant beacon that will draw her here to me, or you silver lantern glow and draw her near. Lonely moon, the gray sky lends no friendly star. Solitary orb of white, lure her to me from afar. Lonely, 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 lonely. Are you lonely, lonely moon?
Oh, beautiful.
Fine pipes, my friend.
Right. Let's change genres rather utterly here. I'm just gonna start this one out here. No one is moving out on the street. 3 a.m. with silence hanging black and blue. I still smell your perfume painted on the sheets. Like memories sweeter than when new. Here's that old coldness back again, tugging at my sleeve, familiar as a friend, slowing down the hours so this night can't find its end. Old cold come chilling back again. Sky gone rusted iron from distant city lights. Headlamps from the highway, scissors, shadows on the wall. My head hurts from gritted teeth, trying not to fight. My restraint saved me no pain at all. You played the evening perfectly, your tempo and your key. You carved me as the wind wears at a dune. Our player piano romance running endlessly, ever always jingle jangling the same tune. Each time it's easier to dance the dance. Each time I drink down the same lies. Each time I know that there's no chance. Each time we cannot say goodbye. So I wait the darkness out and watch for dawn, staring at a phone that will not ring, frozen by false promise, though I know you're gone, hoping for the numbness the cold brings. Here's the old coldness back again, tugging at my sleeve, familiar as a friend, slowing down the hours so this night can't find its end. Old cold come chilling back again. Old cold come chilling back again.
Oh, yes.
Love it. Guitar work.
That's lovely, masterful stuff, Mike. That's lovely.
Thank you.
My my first question for the first song you wrote, the first song you played,
Lonely
uh,
yeah.
did the melody or the chord sequence come first, or did they come together at the same time?
Yeah, it was pretty much simultaneous. It was I was actually driving back from where the airport where I had dropped my wife, who the song is largely about, and it started coming to me. This often inconveniently happens whilst I'm driving on freeways and expressways. And so I had a little digital recorder, so I popped that booger and started singing the melody with some sort of fill, scrambled eggs kind of,
Uh-huh.
words in there, and then yelling out, "I think that's the one major seven there." That kind
Yeah.
of, so
That's
that's the process for that one. Yeah.
is that the someone remarked at some point that well, chords were important, but nobody whistles a chord. They whistle the melody, which was interesting. But the your chord structure on that was so beautiful, and the leading from one to the next, that it's striking how important that can be, and how much the song can be in the arrangement of the chords themselves.
And I must say, to be fair, that in any time I have written anything in that genre, I find that working on the voice leading always causes some alteration in the melody. For example, the flat nine at the end of the introductory verse, leading to the melody. I mean, that wasn't there the first time I thought of it. That was
Uh-huh.
work.
Yes, yeah. I have a couple that are songs that are probably in that genre, uh, and whatever I thought of as melody was warped by the implementation of the chord and the leading, and having that go, because when you hear the full chord, when you play it and you hear two in a row, it suggests, and the whole thing in the air kind of suggests where it wants to go.
Right. It's why you have to keep your ears open while you're writing, because otherwise you'll miss those subtle implications of the work you're doing.
And then how about lyrics? Did they come after you had that, or?
Sort of after I got out of San Francisco, and about Palo Alto, the lyrics started coming.
So was this a 280 song or a 101 song?
280, 280 song.
It sounds it
Clearly a
sounds like a 280 song.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? He's talking about these two freeways, one of which was built a good deal later than the older, US 101 road, and 280 is vastly prettier. 101 goes through Milpitas and San Jose, and 280 goes through, Stanford and like that.
And beautiful green hills and lakes, and with
Water temple.
101, that's more about industrial parks and businesses and puddles.
Yeah.
It's a good road maybe for rain on windshield type songs on that.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Mike, I hope I can see you locally at some point. Where were you talking about playing when you play out?
Yeah, I'm going to play out at a house concert that's available, and you can. Well, I don't know what I can do, but my email is mike.simpson@yahoo.com if anyone cares to know. You contact me, I'll send you the flyer for the concert. It's me and four other singer-songwriters, including a couple of really quite famous ones. So,
Oh, wonderful. I'll contact you and see if I can make it. So we'll try to make this virtual songwriting piece group. We'll try to make it concrete and see how this moves.
well,
Thanks.
we'll see you.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye bye.
And to conclude our California tour, we are going to now go to San Jose, California, and hear Cap Wilhelm Sapien. And he likes to play at the Unitarian Universalist Church in San Jose and the Cafe Zoe open mic in Menlo Park. Okay, Cap,
evening, all.
it's all yours.
Good evening, all. You hearing me? How's the
Yes.
guitar? Guitar coming through? Okay. This first song I wrote while busking on the Pacific Garden Mall in Santa Cruz. As a busker, you get to meet a lot of really interesting people, and the first two verses are about two of the people I met. Is that coming through our neighborhood? Motorcycles coming through. All right. This is called "Never Be the Same." Margarita took a photo and dropped it in my case. A strange and distant longing on a strange and distant face. And on her brow she paints a portrait of pain. She will never, never be the same. She will never, never be the same. Street man stood there and he told a story about the last real home he'd had. Said he really didn't miss it, he said. He wasn't sad. For his life, no regrets, no shame. He will never, never be the same. He will never, never be the same. I knew a young man, he loved a woman. He loved her strong, he loved her true. But his love was not reflected, so like the bird he flew. Down to the river, out to the ocean of rain. He will never, never be the same. He will never, never be the same. He will never, never be the same.
Yes. Bravo. Yes.
So it's been interesting listening to all of your processes that you follow when you're writing, all the different ways a song happens. And I feel like I'm just taking notes. This first song first occurred to me. This is a new song of mine called Penitentiary Creek. And it first occurred to me, I was driving down 680, not 280, not 101, 30 years ago. And I saw this sign that said Penitentiary Creek Overcross or whatever. It's going under the freeway. And I thought, wow, what an interesting name for a creek. Because I know about penitence and, asking for forgiveness and all those things. So I thought, I wonder if that's connected to the local history. And it turns out it is. It's connected to the local mission history where the priests would go and down to the creek and ask for forgiveness for their sins. And I thought, wow, someday I'll write a song about that. Only took me 30 years. So I'm glad to say I'm done with it now. This goes out to the Moyie people, who were the first inhabitants of this land, who were dispossessed of it. I have a bad habit of putting a lot of history into my songs lately. 30 years of teaching U.S. history has made that happen. So here it goes. We went searching for forgiveness down on Penitentiary Creek. We went down to wash the stain off of the sins we dare not speak. All the trials and tribulations of every soul once bound in chains. We went down to wash the stain off, and yet somehow it still remains. Wing seeds come falling down, they gently find the fertile ground below. Life once more renewed. New suns on frozen fields, coaxing shoots to be revealed again. New life breaking through, breaking through. We went seeking absolution down on Penitentiary Creek. We saw only our reflection in the wake of history's deeds. Oh, the cries for reparation from every person dispossessed. We went seeking our redemption. We found only emptiness. Wing seeds are falling down, they gently find the fertile ground below. Life once more renewed. New suns on frozen fields, coaxing shoots to be revealed again. New life breaking through, breaking through.
Yeah.
Still need to learn that one. That's not one of the weird parts about writing songs is I write them and I'm like, well, what's that? And then I have to learn it. And there's a whole nother part to it that comes much more slowly.
Right. I've had similar things, and when I've, especially if I write a number of them fairly quickly. For a while, I was doing open mics, and I was writing at least one song a week for a couple of years, and the writing them was one thing, but learning them was entirely something different. And of course, learning them so that it could be played with meaning. When I wrote it, I thought that was the meaning, but then I found out that it didn't have all the meaning until it taught me how to sing it. When you're, I'm sorry, go ahead.
In addition, I find that when I play it with other people, it becomes something different still, and often turns into almost more of what I intended sometimes when I hear other voices, other players. So I really hunger for that as a writer. When I play them by myself, it's like something's missing.
That's nice. That's, yeah, I think it was Marcel Duchamp said that the work of art isn't finished until you hear from the audience. And there's something in that. You teach history, you say? What history do you teach?
I retired.
You're a retired
last
historian.
spring.
Can you be
I
a
taught.
retired historian? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. You just keep watching the news and, keeps unfolding. So I taught U.S. history and world history and English and a little bit of Spanish over the years. But U.S. history was the one constant through all of it. So.
The having the song derived from the name of the bridge refers to a kind of embedding that you found and that you extracted the meaning out of that, which seems to be a lovely thing for a historian to do. And
well, the more and more I taught, and especially after George Floyd's murder, the more and more confronting the ghosts of the past became an essential part of the job. And so that song was kind of a swipe at that a little bit, but in terms of the local indigenous population, oddly enough, the chorus it's only obliquely related to that, and that was the strangest part. I just let that thing happen, so I'll figure it out what it means someday.
but it came out of thinking about that bridge and the indigenous people.
Yeah.
From there.
And just kind of the power of rejuvenation in nature and how cultures persist through things, even the most horrible things. The images are really about nature, but I feel like there's still a little bit more I need to add to that part. I'm not exactly sure. So it's 3/4 baked.
The songwriting, deriving it from what's going on, seems to be a very deliberative act of attempting to continue some aspect of things that would otherwise leave with the headlines.
Yeah, one of my big heroes as a young songwriter in my early 20s was Phil Oakes, who he once had a record said all the news that's fit to sing, and so I often just find myself compelled to write about what's going on. And I think some people find it annoying, and other people go, I relate to that. Thanks for saying that sort of thing. So I can't help myself, though. Kind of stuck in this gear.
I find the same thing about talking with people about headlines.
Yeah.
But the process. Go ahead, please.
So sometimes people say, why are all your songs political? And I just say they're all love songs. It just depends on how you want to look at them. They're all love songs. So.
Right, and there is a politics in love, right? There's that is certainly the case too. Hey, thank you. Hope to see you around in the. You're not far away from me either, so.
Nope. Thank you all for the gift of your ears. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Cap. And I guess we're done in California, and we're going to travel a little bit southeast to hear Louis Beeler from Charlotte, North Carolina. And he has a shout out to the Afton Wine Room in Concord, North Carolina, and Madison Park, I think, in Charlotte, North Carolina. If it's Park and not Perk, correct me. Anyway, Louis, take it away.
Right. Thanks. My wife and I just got back from Hawaii, and I was able to get to 3 different open mics out there. So that was fun. Well, tonight's music's going to have a theme, so see if you can pick up on it. This first one I wrote with a songwriter friend of mine. His name is Douglas Thompson, and we were having there was a chat going on Facebook, and he posted a picture of him from back in the 80s, and to make a point about our discussion, and I replied with never argue with a time traveler. Well, that was a good idea for a song, so I wrote the music, and I wrote the lyrics, and he wrote the music for it. So. argue with a crazy person, the rules will always change. Never argue with the magician, they'll just distract and rearrange. When you think you have a winning hand, the gambler pulls a rug on you. Reality is always changing from what you thought you knew. Never argue with the time traveler, they have no respect for physics laws. Never argue with the time traveler, the past is not what it once was. You can't change the present, but the past just goes away. Like footprints in the desert, then a dust storm comes and blows away. Don't take everything you have and blow it all in one big shot. You might think you're quite certain, but to time traveler, you're not. Never argue with the time traveler, they have no respect for physics laws. Never argue with the time traveler, the past is not what it once was. And there is no possible way you can win against a crazy gambling, time traveling magician like him. Never argue with the time traveler, they have no respect for physics laws. Never argue with the time traveler, the past is not what it once was. No, the past is not what it once was. I said the past is not what it once was. Right. Thank you. Appreciate that. This next song I'm doing is a fairly recent one. I think most of us might be able to relate to it. When I was young, the sky was the limit. My bank of time had millions of minutes, sailing down the streets on a bike that had no brakes. Never mind the stop signs, I never learned from my mistakes. I was living for the future, looking for a sign. Now there's an old man in my mirror, I thought I had more time. In the game of life, there's only one way to win it. You gotta squeeze every minute out of every minute when you're in it. When I was a young man, I thought the whole world was mine. But now I see the setting sun, I thought I had more time. I thought I had more time. When I crossed the bridge, I would turn around and burn it. If a lesson slapped my face, I never bothered to learn it. Skating around in circles on a slowly melting pond. Scenery was beautiful, but I was looking far beyond. I was living in a dream, and everything was fine till the alarm clock rang. Thought I had more time. In the game of life, there's only one way to win it. You gotta squeeze every minute out of every minute when you're in it. When I was a young man, I thought the whole world was mine. had more time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Lewis.
Hey, Rob.
Delightful songs. I love them. You seem to have latched onto the theme of the evening, which seems to be time.
Yeah.
I think you brought it out, and it reminded me too of an aesthetics professor that I had who was talking about well, you can't step into the same river twice. And he said, well, of course, you can't step into the same river once, which I remember to this day. I love your alliteration. The squeeze every minute out of every minute when you're in it is just absolutely musical, and it's one of the things. Musical structures like that, when we bring along or rhyming structures like that, to some extent, that is what it's kind of a sponge for time. It kind of holds it, because otherwise it would just be an idea. And music and songs are so much more than just ideas. They do hold so much more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think about that when you write, or something like that when you write?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Songs are interesting because, especially old classic songs, because they bring you back to a time, but they also kind of cement the current time, because you're experiencing them currently, but you're also remembering when you first heard them. So it kind of melds time together. It's an interesting phenomenon.
It does. And how about when you're writing them? When you're writing a song, and the relationship of it to what you're writing about.
Yeah, and that can always change too, because sometimes you'll get an idea, and you'll maybe start a song, and then you'll come back to it later after you've had different experiences, and it might write itself easier, or it just might be visible to you at that time. So yeah, time is pretty critical in music writing.
Yeah. The present and what you can drag from before into it, being a time traveler.
Yeah. And there was something subtle going on in that song. I don't know if you picked up on it. It starts off kind of slow, and then it's going a little bit faster by the time it ends. Kind of like how we view time. We can't wait for the future to come, but as we get older, we realize time is moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, it to some extent it gives some, at least I found in that vein, it gives some importance to writing the songs, because otherwise the things they pass through your fingers, you know.
Right.
Time does that. Life does that, huh?
Oh yeah.
And songwriting helps us perhaps give ourselves at least the illusion that we can live longer than we do.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
Those are great songs, Louis. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Again.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Louis, for your songs, and thank you, Robert, for the wonderful conversation. And we only have two more performers left this evening. We have John Hone from Caldwell, New Jersey, up next. And he likes to play at the Fine Grind in Little Falls, New Jersey, and the Folk Project Open Stage in Morristown, New Jersey. You have our stage, John.
Thank you. I love the music tonight. I love someone else mentioned that we're taking notes on the songwriting process. It's fascinating. I guess time. Do I win a prize? And I actually do want to say I just wrote a song called "Time Is Slipping Away." Only I slow it down at the end in an homage to the Chambers Brothers. But that's not the one I have for tonight. I kind of wish I had brought that. I almost did. backdoor betrayed, trust gone, your mind afraid you'll learn, and you're reeling. You feel worthless, ashamed. You didn't have to take the blame, but you did. Can you find healing? Please save yourself, be grateful yourself, you are worth it. Be kind to yourself, remind yourself you are worth it. You are worth it. No matter what they've said, you are worth it. Clear their words from your head. You are worth it. You are worth it. Gaslit, torn down, deception spun your mind around, confusing you. Your confidence shaken, tall tales, little lies, distortions right in front of your eyes. The trust was not all that was taken. Please fight for yourself, make it right for yourself. You are worth it. Be kind to yourself, remind yourself you are worth it. You are worth it. No matter what's been said, you are worth it. Clear their words from your head, you are worth it. No matter what's been said, you are worth it. Clear those words from your head, you are worth it. You are worth it. And I hope you'll see that you are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I have to tune down for this next song. Bear with me, I'm going to double drop D rather than pick up another guitar. This is the one I like to play it on. Just set up the song a little bit. The song's called Broken, and it has 6 very short couplets or verses or notes, but unfortunately in our world today I think could have been a whole lot more. Forgive me, but someone said we tune because we care, and then I play with a songwriter who says she doesn't care but she doesn't want to look bad, so take your choice. Bear with me one second. So at any rate, sadly this song could have probably had quite a few more verses. My apologies for, some people are masters at tuning and talking at the same time. I have not quite mastered that performance regimen.
So now would like be a time for someone to tell a joke, but I don't want to do that. Are you all tuned?
I'm all tuned, and the joke I heard was there's 2 things worth waiting for, tuning and aircraft maintenance, so that's my one joke.
Okay, you take it away now.
Mountain glaciers are melting down, where's drinking water to be found is broken. Plastic islands in the sea last longer than you and me, it's broken. Climate change a great concern, oceans rising, forests burn, it's broken. How much more can we take before our spirit breaks? Can we elevate and congregate and innovate to change our fate? Can we fix what's broken? Can we fix what's broken? Kids don't have enough to eat, rents rise along the street, it's broken. One gets sick, can't pay for meds, mom and dad are filled with debt, it's broken. AR-15s in the school, tears pour as blood pools, it's broken. How much more can we take before our spirit breaks? Can we elevate and congregate and innovate to change our fate? Can we fix what's broken? Can we fix what's broken? Come on, you know that it is in our hands. Come on, you know that it is in our hands. Come on, you know that it is in our, you know that it is in our, you know that it is in our hands. Some hands won't reach across the aisle, meanwhile our problem's pile is broken. It's broken, it's broken. So much polarity, can we find some unity? It's broken. Come on, you know that it's in our hands. Come on, you know that it is in our hands. Come on, you know that it is in our hands. Come on, you know that it is in our, you know that it is in our, you know that it is in our hands. In our hands. In our hands. In our hands.
Oh, wow.
Hey, John.
Hey.
First of all, I got to say, I've got that same Dane Electro 12 string, which I love to bring out every now and then. The one hanging in your wall in back of you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you write for that very often?
I do not. I'm banned from using a bass effect here, but my live act has I split my signal and I drive OC3 bass. And when I first got that and I plugged the OC3 into it, the way it's set up, it just doesn't. I don't get the low end out of it. So it's underutilized. As someone said, they had something before that was wall art. Well, this is kind of wall art for the moment. I'd like to get back into it. I love the sound of 12 string.
I find that I had to search for the right setting for it with the amps and everything. But I found a setting that worked well, and that was nice. So for me too, it's kind of a sometimes piece. You're interesting. I mean, usually when I'm watching someone, I'm most interested in their left hand work, the neck of the guitar work. on listening to you, I was most interested in your right hand. You had a lot of interesting and delicate playing going on there when you were playing.
Thank you. I got a transformative moment years ago. I was listening to Mississippi John Hurt's "Make Me a Palette," and I decided I want to learn it. I said, "Oh, that's an easy song," and then I really dissected it, and I go, "Oh my God!" And when I came up for air about a year and a half later, I finally had gotten that song under control, and I've never played the guitar the same way since.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Thumb work on it, especially?
A lot of thumb work, yeah, a heck of a lot. Yeah, he's got that, that Piedmont style eighth notes running through the whole thing, and it's like, wow, just start learning how to do that with the counter rhythms was just, it was a gift. It was really wonderful. I went in with a bad attitude and came out with a better.
Yeah, just that. Yeah, I have. There's a Richard Thompson song that treated me that way.
Yeah.
I thought going, oh, okay, I'll take care of that. What the hell?
He plays with the pick and he does the fingers. I'm like, no, that's
yeah, right. I just received. I thought I would try this along those lines. This is a thumb pick and pick. So it's got a little thing on it, so you can bend it out. So it's useful for both playing flat pick and thing. It's a little thicker than I would have liked it, but I just got it a day ago, and I'm gonna try working with it for some. Sometimes I wanted to ask you this because of the technical nature of your playing. Do you ever write a song and you have the content, but you also have a technical problem that you want to solve in writing the song and developing it? Do you ever come across that?
It's funny you should mention that. It's still there for sure. And in fact, tonight, literally one of the licks that I played tonight, I figured out tonight while I was warming up. That I wasn't happy with the way I was delivering it, so I shifted to 3 fingers from 2. But when I've been composing instrumentals for years, and I stopped writing words for a long time, and I wrote a whole bunch of instrumentals that I just couldn't play, and I can play them now, but that's after really working hard at the technique. So sometimes the songs, I couldn't deliver my own songs. I mean, it was so yeah, that can happen for sure.
Yeah.
When people like Leo Cacchio, we had this guy Paul Colombino who was here a few months back, and he had an award-winning song called Cocky, and he's inspirational. And you go, wow, I just got to keep up in my game,
Yes, exactly. And but it gives you a place to go when you're by yourself, and you give yourself a technical problem. I think that it's nice to know how to do that, to give yourself a technical problem, then go after it, and as a result, have a song, right?
Sure, yeah, and it gives you something to strive for. Although sometimes you can also just get great things out of simplicity too. Those just happen to be more complex songs.
Right. Well, there's an old line along that. So I wrote you a letter. It would have been shorter, but I didn't have enough time. So simplicity and elegance. Hey, I've loved your playing. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
John, ditto that. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we are going to go to our number 10 performer, Chase Brady from Fairlawn, Ohio. Chase is our last performer for tonight. You have the stage and take us home.
Okay. Someone mentioned earlier that most of their songs are based on their own experiences. I'm from the other camp. Most of my songs are stories that I make up. This first one actually came from a songwriter's exercise, a little piece of language that started with it that didn't actually survive the writing process. Called Molly Sang the Blues. She lives above the old hotel, that seedy one downtown, where the decent folk don't set foot through the door. In a room that smells of whiskey and stale tobacco smoke, and maybe just a hint of something more. There was a time when she was young, when people knew her name. She sang for them in clubs throughout this town. And when her band got cranking, you could see her come alive. She could belt the blues like no one else around. Some say it was the bottle and the fast lane life she lived. Some say she sang her heart out and had nothing more to give. She might be forgiven, for she surely paid her dues. And some of us remember back when Moyie sang the blues. I remember back in her day how she could hold the crowd, the way we'd hang on every note she'd sing. I swear sometimes I thought that she would bring the building down, the way that she could make those rafters ring. Now she's just the old gal who lives above the Grand. You see her on the streets, she looks away. And I couldn't say what happened that could still a voice so strong, but I'm feeling kinda sad for her today. Some say it was the bottle and the fast lane life she lived. Some say she sang her heart out and had nothing more to give. She might be forgiven, for she surely paid her dues. And some of us remember back when Moyie sang the blues. Janice went out early, so did Lady Day. Moyie just stopped singing, why no one can say.
Nice.
Thank you. I said before, I don't, most of my songs are not based on my own experience. This next one is the exception. It's a little closer to home. And I'm not going to tell you the title of it. I think you'll figure it out pretty quickly. My hair took off for parts unknown many years ago. I didn't worry too much, always knew it would be so. But then my youthful physique followed in its wake, replaced by all these extra pounds and pills I have to take. Getting old is getting old. I'm getting tired of getting so damn tired. It's nap time and my energy's expired. Getting old is getting old. When I was a young man, I went to work each day, dreaming of retirement when I'd have things my way. Now it's true, my time is free and I go where I please. If only this old body could get me there with ease. Getting old is getting old. I've got cataracts and screws inside my back. It's a struggle getting up out of the sack. Getting old is getting old. My glasses are trifocular, my gums are getting thin. My ears are always ringing, I've got age spots on my skin. I have to wear a face mask just to get a good night's sleep. And now I'm counting bathroom trips instead of counting sheep. But seniority has benefits, I know that it's true. I no longer punch a time clock now that I've paid all my dues. I've surely earned my freedom, no wage slave anymore. Now if I could just remember what I came here for. Getting old is getting old. I'm getting tired of getting so damn tired. It's nap time and my energy's expired. Getting old is getting old.
I can relate to that one. I can relate.
Hey, Chase.
Hey.
First of all, I want to salute your Unix connections there, which you mentioned. I think you're the first Unix oriented person that we've had that I heard anyway.
It took a while to figure it out, but I hope we finally got it.
I noted, you said, well, you write songs from stories and things, and not your own experience, but there was something when you write them. You said, for instance, one of your lines was, you see her on the street and she looks away. I imagine that was something that you remembered from being on the street.
Oh, sure. I think everyone has experienced that, seeing somebody and you want to talk to them, and that it's obvious they don't not interested in talking right now. Sure. I've always felt like they say put a little of yourself into your song, basically on your own experience. I don't think you can write without doing that to an extent, but that doesn't mean you have to write your biography, spend your life writing your biography. We all, you've got a scene in a song and you kind of picture maybe yourself or someone in that position. What would they say? How would they feel? That's how you put yourself into a song. No, there's lots of people who do write based on their own experience, and that's fine. I tried it, and everything I wrote that was based on my own experience that wasn't funny like that last one. Turned out to just be bad. So I gave myself permission to make up stories and write them.
I think to some extent we put ourselves in those stories, even if it's or else how are we in touch?
Yeah, sure. You want to make the characters real, so kind of putting your own experience into it and just figuring out how they would act, in this situation. What would they do? How would they feel?
Yeah, it's something when you put your in the end when you put your hands in your pockets, you're going to pull out something that's yours
Yeah.
to put there. The last song was just delightful. Your wordsmithing there, and also the I somehow have many of those uh, references are close to me somehow, and all of us. Um, but I love the way you put them was great. Yeah, getting old is getting old is definitely a an anchor for that.
Yeah, that line occurred to me, and my first thought is I'm just going to post that on Facebook, you know, and then I stopped and said, wait a minute, that's a song, you know.
That's a good point because Facebook and I spend way too much time on it and have for years. But I used to write many more articles. I used to do a lot more writing before I found that I was putting things up in Facebook and then being done with them.
Yeah.
Things that I might develop into a song. Although I do a lot of songwriting still, but I imagine that Facebook is probably a drain for a lot of people nowadays.
Yeah. I suspect there's some people who find songs on Facebook, a phrase that they read somewhere and say, wait a minute, I can do something with that.
I can do that. That's right. Copy and paste. There's that. The yeah, I think that the new mining we can do in lyric mining as opposed to data mining. That's there. I think we're finishing up now, and you did a lovely job of bringing this together and with your songs. Thanks a lot for doing that.
Can I do a quick plug?
Please.
I've got CDs on Facebook or on Bandcamp if anybody's interested.
Okay, so that would be Chase Brady on
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Wonderful. We'll take a look.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chase.
Thank you, Chase, and everyone. And speaking of a plug, all of our performers who have links to YouTube videos or websites or Bandcamp or anything, you can, first of all, you can find the link on the description of the YouTube itself that you're watching now. And you could also find the link on Open Mic America website for everybody who's ever performed here. So if you want to hear more of these performers, go ahead and find the link. And now we have come to the end of our show, and let's just give one more cheer for each one of our singer-songwriters: Shiloh Rising, Grover Duffield, let's see, Ralph DeFlorio, Gene Stewart, you can wave when you hear your voice, your name, Darren Levine, Mike Simpson, Cap Wilhelm Safian, Louis Beeler, John Hone, Chase Brady. Thank you all. You were wonderful. Also, thank you to our team today. TK Tran was our super duper engineer, and Robert Edgar was our interviewer. And both of them were also performers. Our team is made mostly of Open Mic America performers. I am Daphna Ramil. Check our website. Thank you to founder Capo Dave Williams, who's also sitting here right now today, working tirelessly behind the scenes and conceived of this whole thing. If you like this show, spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. Get t-shirts through the website. And come back next Sunday, May 14th. We're here the first 3 Sundays of every month. Same time with Penny and Rob Cork as our first time engineering team. Mike Simpson, our performer today, will be the MC next week. And Evan Acey will be our interviewer. And stay tuned for the next full lineup of performers, actually. So, with that, I am going to make sure that everybody is muted, and we're all going to wave goodbye to you, and we will say good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.